YouTube, what's good? In this video, I'm going to be talking about the exact product research method that made me over $130,000 with $0 in ad spend. Pretty much wanted to make this video to have you guys understand my product research method that I've always used since the beginning of my journey. I've been doing organic dropshipping for less than a year now. If you guys know who I am, my name is Kevin, and pretty much I have made multiple six figures with this business model. But I have taken a completely different approach when it comes to my product research method that I've never really shared live. So in this video, I decided to share it to you guys because a lot of you have been asking me in the DMs or even in just, my students, hey, what is the product research method that has made you all this money in such a short period of time? That's not the burner method. That's not a spy tool. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking this exact strategy. I'm going to be breaking it up into a very easily and followable way for you to understand in a 5th grade level. So again, this video isn't going to be any course bullshit or any gurus kind of stuff. It's going to be me just breaking down this exact strategy, right? So again, a little bit of credibility here. Got a couple of my stories you can literally look up today. Yeah, there you go. So again, everybody that takes advantage of this has an insane edge over 99% of the competition that only uses the burner method and spy tools, right? In the beginning of my journey, and a lot of you watching this video, hopefully, you always hear the word burner method or spy tool, right? A lot of these people are, only mentioning these two product research methods because A, they probably make money off you. When somebody's like referring a spy tool, they usually have an affiliate code, which they make money off you. And burner method, it's the 99% method that everybody else is using. And so it's so easy to just tell somebody, hey, just do the burner method, you'll make money, right? But how do you actually expect to make money if that's what 99% of people are doing, right? Just use your brain here. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down these three key things, okay? And this is exactly what you're going to be learning, right? You're going to learn how to train your eye to find winning products. We're going to actually find out where to find these winning products and the exact thought process / rubric I personally use when picking a product to run. Because yes, I do use a rubric that I've created myself to essentially let me know what a winning product looks like and what essentially validates that winning product to be able to consistently make money from it, right? Because again, hopefully if you're watching this video and are aware of who I am, I don't like pump and dump little products that you run up for a couple of weeks and then they completely die. No, I'm all about longevity. This is pretty much what I teach throughout my whole entire YouTube, is how to actually make organic dropshipping and even e-com in general something sustainable that can make you thousands of dollars every single month and actually make this a full-time thing. Isn't that something that you would want? Most likely. Okay, so let's get straight to it. And the first thing we're going to talk about is actually training your eyes for success, right? How do we actually train our eyes to see winning products? And this is exactly what we need to understand before we even hop into this, right? So before you start, you need to understand that this business model, especially organic dropshipping, but e-com in general, is based off of impulse purchases. The easier it is for the customer to justify their purchase more, it will sell. The more it will sell, right? So again, if somebody is selling a product between $25 to $100 on average, people will typically justify that when purchasing something off a random website, right? But once you go over the $100 range, maybe $125 to even like $300, you actually start thinking, what am I doing buying a $300 product off a random sketchy website, right? That's when your brain actually like activates and is like, all right, we should probably not, spend this type of money online. But, typically when you're looking at the $25 price range to even $100 price range, your brain, when it's in brain rot zombie mode, doesn't really give a fuck, right? So typically this is the price range that I like to essentially put my products up for. So typically I'll sell a product for, $40 to even $60 a piece, just so I'm making at least like 3x profit margins. Again, I do organic dropshipping. I don't pay any ads. So yeah, that's pretty much what I typically look for. But yeah, this is what we literally need to understand in the beginning. When we're trying to find a winning product. So every time you are doing product research, I want you to think of this, right? Is this product, right? Is it too much? Is it too high ticket for anybody offline to buy it? Or is it just the right price for it to be justified? Okay. I want you to start thinking that. Next thing we need to figure out is the winning product criteria, right? So again, these are going to be the kind of main benefactors of a winning product that you should be looking after, right? So the first thing we're going to be really focusing on is the wow factor of the product, right? The product, right, that you find must at least look cool. That is the bare minimum. It must look cool, it must stand out, or do something that makes you want to learn more about it, right? What is the point of actually selling a product like a fucking normal water bottle that doesn't have any functionality but to just drink water from, right? The whole point of this is to have some sort of wow effect when you actually scroll on your For You page, find this product, and you're like, holy shit, bro, this is actually dope, right? So again, this is all about the wow factor, right? This is what we're essentially trying to create with our product, right? Another thing too that everybody talks about is adding value. But what exactly does value even mean, right? Hopefully, this product solves some sort of problem, entertains people, and makes people want, or it makes them more attractive, right? It's some sort of problem-solving product that not necessarily has to solve a direct problem. At the end of the day, if it's a product that entertains somebody, right, they're gonna buy it, right? Most of the time, it's more convenient for people to buy a problem-solving product because it's like, oh, it solves a problem. But at the end of the day, if you find a product that's super entertaining and it's more like a commodity, dude, they will still buy it. So it doesn't necessarily have to add direct value, but value could just be, entertainment. It could be like just joy and actually making somebody happy, right? Because again, that is value at the end of the day. Another thing that we're looking to add when it comes to the product itself is demand, right? What kind of demand does this product have, right? So just because you would buy the product doesn't mean other people will. And this is when we actually need to study the target demographic or niche and take a look at what they're interested and see if this would fall into that. So 9 out of 10 times a winning product will fall into a specific target audience or niche, right? And this is exactly when we have to actually do some niche research and see what type of demand there is for a product like this, right? Because at the end of the day, you might think, holy shit, bro, this fucking water bottle again is super freaking cool. It says the letter F on it. But, people in the niche might want, a water bottle with the letter K on it. I don't fucking know. But at the end of the day, you need to study your target niche to understand what they're really looking for, right? Because again, if you're just choosing a product that you think is going to be a winner and don't know anything about the niche, then you're kind of cooked, right? So you have to kind of put yourself in the shoes of the people that you are trying to sell to actually see the demand and if they would actually need this product on a daily basis. Right? That's just the broad reality of it. And this is exactly what I do when doing product research is I actually deep dive into the exact niche and see, what people are looking for and how they're reacting to a similar product like this, if that makes sense. Okay. Another thing that we're looking for here is an emotional and passionate connection, right? Does this product make somebody feel sad, happy, mad, confident, excited, or laugh? Right? Because again, emotional sparks are super important when it comes to, a scroll stopping video. At the end of the day, when people are scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, Reels, etc., most of the time people will stop if this certain ad creative video provokes some sort of emotion for them, right? Let's say it's something like this. It's a very passionate product. It's an urn necklace, right? I've ran this in the past. You guys can see a case study in my my older YouTube video. But let's say you're running an urn necklace, right? Where you actually put like a loved one's ashes in it, right? Most of the time when people are scrolling, they might just stop and be like, damn, bro, that's kind of sad, right? If you have like the right storyline behind it, or even just look at the product itself, you're like, damn, bro, that's kind of sad. Like, maybe, this person lost their grandma like a week ago and it causes some sort of emotion and some passionate connection behind that product that, it might just be it, right? It might be like, damn, bro, this is exactly what I need to keep my grandma, to keep my loved one beside me for the rest of my life, right? So again, it doesn't necessarily have to be an emotional product, but it's something that I always look for because sometimes these emotional / passionate type of products do really, really good. Okay, really, really good. But again, it's not a deal breaker, okay? So the next thing that we need to look for here is good content potential, right? At the end of the day, you want to make sure that when you find a product, you can at least come up with 5 videos of the top of your head. If not, then you'll probably have a really hard time running it, right? So if you can't come up with 5 different video ideas, off the top, off the dome, right? It's going to be really, really hard for you in the future to essentially come up with new concepts, new video ideas, etc. Because when we're doing organic, we're looking to post at least 2 videos a day on a daily basis, right? And so eventually you're going to run out of ideas. And so this is why it's super important for the actual product to have good content potential, right? And so let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. Does a water bottle have better content potential, right, than, I don't know, a phone? Probably not, because there's so many concepts that you can make with a water bottle. There's only so many functions behind a water bottle, right? Compared to an iPhone. An iPhone is literally everything that you would ever need in your daily life right in front of you, right? And there's so many functionalities, so many different ideas that you can come up with when it comes to, showcasing an iPhone compared to a water bottle. This is the 3rd time I mentioned this, by the way. This water bottle is getting so much clout right now. But yeah, you kind of get the gist here. And lastly, shareability. This is a new word I just invented. This word doesn't even exist in the dictionary. I invented this last night. Shareability. Is the product the type to be easily shared with a friend? We have to remember that all social media platforms thrive through shared content. The more people share, the more apps will favor your video, right? So again, when you're looking for a product, you want to make sure that it's shareable, right? Is this a type of product that you would want to share with a friend? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to virality, which is exactly what we count on when it comes to organic, we are thriving with shares, right? When our video goes viral and we're getting tons of shares, that literally duplicates the amount of views that we are getting for that exact video. Because typically when you share a video to one friend, that friend is probably going to share it to their mom or their grandma, whatever it may be. So it's just like a crazy chain reaction of your video just naturally growing, and also the platform favoring your video, because at the end of the day, you have to remember that these platforms are looking for people to stay on them, and also new people to become members of this platform. So let's say that your aunt never had TikTok. You share her a TikTok ad from one of my products, and she's like, holy shit, this is so dope, but let me actually make a TikTok account. And then boom, she's addicted to TikTok. TikTok is winning. We're both actually winning. It's a win-win situation here. But again, shareability is super, super key. Hopefully you still are following along, because this is literally something that I just learned not too long ago. And this literally has made me so much money, is the shareability of a product. And again, let me go ahead and give you another example, right? Which one is more likely to be shared, right? A random pan that it's the best pan of all time. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just a pan though, versus a Puff Bar dog toy, right? Which one is more likely to be shared, right? 100% the Puff Bar dog toy. You've never ever seen this before, and so you're gonna probably want to share this to your friend that's like a nicotine addict, and he's like, dude, there's a literal Puff Bar dog toy. This is so sick. But again, why would I ever want to share a pan to anybody? It's just a boring pan. So again, once you start thinking like this, you start honestly making more money. And it's the simple stuff like this, the low-hanging fruit, that's going to make you the most amount of money, bro. It's nothing crazy here, right? This is just basic marketing strategies that we're really just learning here. Okay, so next thing we need to focus on is where to actually find these winning products. How the hell are we going to find winning products, Kevin, bro? I've been going crazy on the burner and doing this. How do I find them? And let's break it down. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about the most known product research method, which I just mentioned, and it's called the burner method. If you don't know what this method is, let me quickly explain it to you. So the burner method is the most beginner-friendly and known method, because this will train your eyes to detect winning products and bad products. You'll also be able to make your first couple of sales with this method, since you're literally seeing what's working in the market in real time. Essentially, it's the most competitive method, since 99% of the space is doing it. So the burner method is super simple. All you really have to do is optimize a TikTok or Instagram reel page to essentially only look at dropshipping products. So what you do is you search up Amazon made me buy it, products, gifts for him, gifts for her, and you start engaging on products. So eventually your For You page is going to only be products. And this is actually how 99% of the space, when it comes to organic dropshipping and e-com, actually finds their products, right? And again, this is the most known method that you've probably heard in the past, because it's just the easiest to do at the end of the day, right? But it's not bad. I'm not saying that the burner method is bad, because this will actually train your eyes to detect a winning product and the bad product just from the engagement that that video was getting. So typically, like when you're scrolling on your burner, you could see like a really good video that has like over 300,000 likes and 5 million views, and you're like, holy shit, this actually might be a good, potential product to run just from the engagement that you're seeing, right? So I'm not saying that the burner method is bad, but it's a very beginner-friendly method that it's the barrier to entry is so easy that's why 99% of people are doing it. And yes, you're gonna have potential to make your first ever sale, but when it comes to actually hitting the advanced level, when you actually want to make 10K a month consistently, right, you're gonna have to start thinking a little bit differently, right? And so let me actually put this into perspective, right? So this is the burner method, right? So typically, when you do the burner method, this is how it works, right? You have the number one competitor, right? You have the first person right here that essentially found that product, right? And so think of it as a pie, right? The first person is going to get 65% of the pie because you were the first one to get it. So you're going to be rewarded with the most amount of views, and we're talking about a pie, but yeah, views, right? So again, anytime you're first to a product, you're going to get 65% of the cut. Then, eventually you will be seen on a burner, right? And so then you have the second competitor that goes, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and run this product right now. And then so he gets 20% of that pie, right? So a little bit less of that chunk, but still he gets 20% of whatever revenue / views that, number one is getting. And so then eventually number two gets seen on another burner. And so, you know what, there's another competitor, number three here, and then he gets 10% of the pie, 10% of the cut. And then eventually he gets seen by another burner, which is probably you, because by the time you actually see that product, there's probably 3 other people on it, or there's been like 10 other people that have seen that video and had already ordered that product to their house. And so you're only going to be getting 5% of the cut. So you see the trend here. You see how little benefit you get from actually doing the burner method if you're not number one, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're number one to a product, you're the first one to bring it into a market, you're gonna make the majority of the money. And that's just how it is, right? But how does the number one person actually get to be number one, right? And this is something that we're gonna study in a little bit, right? But like I said to you before, I still use the burner method, but I use it a little bit differently just because I'm a little bit more advanced and I've actually trained my eye to find winning products, right? So I'm not saying that the burner method is by all means bad. It's just that it's what almost every dropshipper is doing. Like literally every guru is telling you, do the burner method, bro. Because like it's the most low hanging fruit, bro. It's just so easy to do. And so, they're just going to recommend it because A, they don't know shit about the business model and they're just trying to sell you a course, right? I'm not going to jump into that. But what I personally use the burner method for is content research and seeing what video concepts are going viral / working that I could potentially use for my product. So the burner method is actually such a good way to see, viral concepts that are currently working within this space now, because 99% of the time the videos that you're seeing on your burner have been uploaded within the first week, and so you can actually see in real time what's going viral, what's doing bad, what's converting, what's not converting, and just seeing hey, can I potentially use this viral video concept that I found with my personal product. And so I use the burner method on a daily basis because I essentially just extract ideas from the burner for my products. That's literally all I use the burner method for, right? And it's a great way to do this because, again, every single week there's a new concept that's going viral. And so when we're trying to post 2, different videos on a daily basis and we need ideas, this is a great way to, do content research and essentially just pull ideas from, So again, the burner method isn't bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's pretty good for beginners, but eventually you're going to have to, step it up a little bit to be able to make 65% of the pie, right? Again, we all want to make money here. And we're not only going to be, trying to be at this 5% level for the rest of our lives. We're going to eventually want to make 65% of the cut and make that big boy money, right? And so this is exactly what we're going to talk about, right? Product research method number 2. And this is going to be called the AliExpress method and the Temu method, okay? And again, this is more advanced, right? So again, you need to have product selection dialed in for you to be able to find winners this way, right? Because there's billions of products to choose from these 2 platforms alone, probably billions. And this is how you truly make a lot of money and how I personally do my product research. So before we even get to product research method number 2, right, we need to literally master and actually dissect the winning product criteria and actually really understand this before we even dive into, doing product research ourselves and jumping into these crazy websites, right? Because again, we actually need to understand these main factors first first to even get a good gist of what we're going to be picking out, because again, there's millions of products here, right? And so you need to start training your eye to be able to get to this level, and the only way you're going to get to this level is by truly understanding the criteria and then breaking down the rubric, which I will literally share with you in a little bit, right? So stay tuned for the rubric, because this is the only way you're going to be able to do this. So product research method number 2, Ali and Temu. So again, Temu, if you guys don't know, this is like a storefront for thousands of dropshipping products from China, right? So again, super cheap pricing. You can find millions of products, etc. And it's a great way to do product research and actually find untapped products that you've never seen before, that are like totally untapped when it comes to the burner method, spy tools, etc. Most of the time when you find an untapped product, it's usually from AliExpress, Temu, or some sort of Chinese website, okay? So a little bit of a quiz for you guys. Took a screenshot from AliExpress. I want you to find the winning product. There's a total of 18 different products here, and only one of them is a winning product, right? So I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to see which one is the winning product, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, boom. It's the lightsaber. This is the winning product. I'm kidding. This would never be a fucking winning product. Guys, so again, this is the winning product right here. This little retro game handheld console. This is the winning product out of all 18 of these, right? Because again, we've seen this in the past, or maybe you haven't, but again, I know that this is a winning product because it's just the best product out of all of these when it comes to actually making video concepts, variations, just functionalities, different, there's just so many things that go within this retro gaming console that a normal flashlight just doesn't even compare to, right? So again, you have to essentially train your eye to find winning products, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You're going to be seeing thousands of products, and maybe 1 out of 1,000 are a winner. But the moment you actually train your eye and you actually know what it looks like, then you're going to be winning, right? You're going to be getting like literally 90% of the profit, like for sure. Okay, so again, if you guessed wrong, it's okay. Again, the whole point of this video is to train you. So again, if you got it wrong, keep watching the video, because I'm really going to train you up now. Okay. So the rubric, right? So how do we actually know if a product is worth running, right? Because again, you need to understand that when you run a product, you need to actually like, okay, sure, you found the product, cool, you think it's a winner, but like, is it worth running? Is it worth your time? So how do we actually know if a product is worth running? How do we know? So step 1, you have to run your product through this exact rubric to validate it and see if it's worth running. So I actually made a full-fledged rubric for you guys to actually it's a point system to score your product, right? So typically there's a couple of categories that I mentioned before. We have the first one right here. We have wow factor, value, market demand, emotional/passionate connection, good content potential, and shareability. These are the last things I talked about, right? So again, you're going to basically put your product through this exact rubric and see if it's worth running, right? So again, you're going to use this rubric to score potential products on a scale of 1 through 5. 5 being super strong, 1 being weak, right? So again, let's say you found like a stupid fidget spinner. Wow factor, maybe it was like a 4. Value, 0. It's a fucking fidget spinner. Market demand, maybe there was like a couple of people that found it cool. Any emotional, passionate connection, 0. Does it have good content potential? Like maybe can make a couple videos. Shareability, like maybe 5, because it's so brain rot and like it just looks super cool, right? So again, you would essentially just tally up these numbers and see the total score guide to see if it's worth running, right? So again, 26 through 30, it's a winning product, definitely run it. 21 through 25, it's it has strong product potential. It's definitely worth testing. And then then you have down here where it's like 16 to 20, it's a mediocre product. 11 to 15, weak, and then 6 to 10, definitely do not test. So I literally made a full-fledged rubric for you guys to put your products through to actually see if it's worth running, right? And actually save you so much time, because in the beginning of my journey, I had to literally test over 14 products before I found my first one, and I spent so much time just wasting my time with products that had nothing to do that just weren't a winning product, right? So again, I'm essentially saving you so much time just from this rubric that I created that you could essentially use today. If you guys want the rubric, DM me on Instagram and I will literally send it to you for free. That's it. But yeah, I will send you the rubric if you DM me on Instagram. So again, step 1, we have to run our product through the exact rubric, right? Let's say it's validated and we're like, okay, cool. Now we have to double check the demand and the competition, right? So step 2, if your product scores a 21 or higher, right? A 21 or higher here, it's a strong product. This is when we start doing market research, right? Market research, and seeing if this product has been ran in the past or currently being ran by somebody else, right? It is super important, like I said, to do market research to see if your target audience / niche would actually be interested in this product, right? And to also see if there's like actually some good ideas out there to start brainstorming on content. Because like I said, if the product doesn't have good content potential, then you're 9 out of 10 times like kind of cooked. So it's a good idea to do a little bit of market research and also see if there's, people currently running your product, and if you have competitors, because this is going to be huge when it comes to deciding, right? Because for me, let's say I find like an untapped product that I think, it's super untapped, but then I see that there's like 4 other people running it, then it's cooked. I'm not going to run it, right? I don't want to be fourth to the race here and then only make, not even 5% of the money, So again, this is super crucial to actually do a little bit of research before you actually order anything, to see if there's competitors, right? But let's say you're in the green, there's no competitors running this, you are literally the first one to this, then if you're in the green, see if you can find videos about your product to learn more about it. And if people want it, 90% of the time, you'll find the product or a similar variation that can base your decision on, right? So like I told you before, do a little bit more of market research and see if your target niche would actually buy a product like this. Or maybe if there's like a similar variation to it that's super similar, that you can base your decision on, right? So again, if we actually go through step 3, it's a check. Step 2, it's a check. And then we actually ran the product through the actual rubric and we scored over a 21, then bro, we're ready to absolutely fucking cook, right? And again, I want you to actually understand engagement, right? Because again, you're probably wondering, Kevin, like how do I actually know if, my target audience or niche would actually want to buy a product like this? What am I looking for when it comes to engagement? And this is exactly what I want to teach you guys. So again, we have engagement. We have good engagement, right? And then we have bad engagement. So different types of engagement. Good engagement is stuff like this. People are asking, hey, I need this now. Where can I buy it? I need it. Where do I get this? This is adorable. I want this. Not going to lie. I need this, right? This is really good engagement, right? Because again, there's demand. People want this. People need this. And they're going crazy about it. But then we have bad engagement. And you're like, Kevin, what are you talking about? Like, these are like emojis. People are fuck with it, obviously. No, guys, these are all burners, right? Like literally this guy's name is The Burner, professional burner. Again, these are all burners. These are drop shippers within the space that are currently doing the burner method and pretty much just found this product and it's completely rotted out, and not even worth running. So again, if you ever see engagement like this, 9.5 out of 10 times, it's burner engagement and it's not good. It's not the engagement that we're looking for because again, this is totally fabricated engagement for them to actually continue to do the burner method, right? Because again, this isn't like this isn't engagement from like actual people on the site that are looking at this like organically. No, these are just little burner demons, little minions that are commenting all over the post, right? And again, a good example of bad engagement would be if like people were just to be like, yo, this is stupid, I will never use this. This is the most pointless product ever. It's so ugly, stuff like that. But that's pretty like self-explanatory of why you wouldn't want that sort of engagement. So again, gave you guys 2 examples of different types of engagement right here. Okay, cool. And now, the last thing that I look for, and this is literally what I teach, bro. This is like my bread and butter of just organic in general, right? Is this product brandable, right? This isn't like a must-have, but this is always something that I ask myself when finalizing my decision, right? Can this product be branded in the future, and does it have the potential to scale beyond a one-product store? Because again, most of the time when it comes to drop shipping, all of these products are one-product stores, and that's it, right? They usually just burn out and then eventually just saturate and then they go to shit, right? But eventually, you want to put yourself out of that mindset of the old little business model of one product stores and that's it. You want to literally transform into an actual businessman and be able to scale your brands beyond this little one product store little idea, right? And this is exactly my philosophy when it comes to organic that I've had ever since I started this channel. Like you can go back, is how can I build an actual brand that's going to be able to scale for months and months and months and even years ahead to be able to make money consistently and make this a full-time thing, to where I'm not having to run up a product for 2 to 3 weeks, have it completely dump and then have to find, 3 other ones to pay the rent. Right? That is like the worst case scenario when you're just doing pump and dump products. You can't make money consistently and you're literally tripping the crap up, right? And this is exactly something that I teach within my mentorship and all of my students. It's like, how can we actually train our minds to actually start thinking like a real business owner and find products that have potential to scale beyond this little dropshipper meta, right? This little meta that everyone's doing, that like, oh, pump and dump, burner method, that's it. No. Like, I want you to start thinking a little bit differently and start thinking critically with your head. How can you actually scale this to make a real brand, right? Isn't this something that we all want to do eventually, is actually create our own brand with our name on it and, be able to just scale it and be around for years and years on end, okay? So again, little bit of a test for you guys, right? I have 2 products here. Right? We have a not brandable product and then we have a brandable product. But why? Right? We have a chocolate fountain and then we have a customized little kitty purse, right? Again, anybody that doesn't know about, what a brandable product looks like, they have no idea why this is a brandable product and why this one isn't, right? Most people are like, oh, it's a chocolate fountain. Like, of course it's brandable. I could just put my name on it and, it's a brandable product. No, guys. The main difference from these 2 right here is that, yes, of course you can fucking brand a chocolate fountain. Of course you can. But like, it does not have the potential to scale past a 1 product store, because this is just going to be a chocolate fountain, right? As compared to this kitty purse, right? And I've seen this, like, this is like actually backed by proven fact here, is that this had the potential and is currently scaling beyond a 1 product store because they have tons and tons of different variations of these little cat purses, and they've also tapped into other animals to make these kind of bags with, right? So again, it's no longer a 1 product store. It's now like a 100 product store, which they can then, branch off to different target demographics of people that maybe like, dogs instead of cats, and, maybe other types of cats and maybe other types of dogs that they could target as well. So again, like, this is such a more brandable product than just a generic little chocolate fountain that you can go and find at your local Five Below. You know what I'm saying? And again, think of the packaging as well. This is a really nice packaging. You could add your own brand right here, like cat brand. Boom, actually add your own brand to it. A little bit of a logo here. I don't even know what this is, but you know what I mean. This has just so much more potential to be branded than this just generic, little chocolate fountain, if you know what I mean. So again, every time before you order that product, this should be the last thing that you think of, is like, okay, is this the product that I could potentially brand in the future if all things go well, right? Let's say this like product goes absolutely crazy the first 2 months of running it, and you're like, bro, like, I see the vision. This is something that could literally grow to a 7-figure brand. And, this is the stuff that you have to start thinking to get to those brand results, right? To be able to hit those 10K days, to be able to hit those 40K months and make over 6 figures, with dropshipping, right? Because again, a lot of these people are here to just not even do it for the long run. They want to run these little like brain rot little products, pump and dumps, that aren't even like evergreen, that you can't run all year round, and it goes nowhere, right? And then you're stressing about, the next product that you have to run, right? And again, this is something that I personally teach to literally everybody within my course. Like, bro, like, boys, we have to start thinking critically about the brandability of a product, right? Because again, this is where things get serious and actually take us to the next level. And this is exactly what I did. Like, I am currently running a product that I literally branded because I saw the vision and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start making my own variations. And this is exactly how I've been able to get these crazy results, right? Hit like these 12K days, right? Hit over 6 figures in revenue, because I've actually taken myself out of that mindset of just like, regular dropshipper to like actual brand owner. And, this is the exact method that has made me all this money so quick in less than a year. Okay, so hopefully you guys understood this. Hopefully you guys can actually implement this within your business today, because this is truly what made me like all this money, like I said, and really made the difference at the end of the day. Because again, it's stuff that people don't even think about when it comes to thinking critically. Like, why would you do something that 99% of people are doing? Like, and you expect to like get rich off it? Like, bro, like, it just doesn't make sense. But again, I hope you guys learned something from this. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. And again, hopefully you guys understood everything that I broke down here. And again, this did take a while to learn, but this is something that I wish my younger self would have had in the beginning, because I truly would have made these results a lot quicker and not wasted all this time on dumb little, product research methods that just honestly don't even work and that 99% of people are doing. So I'm going to end off the video here, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe. Also follow me on Instagram and DM me for that rubric that I mentioned in this video. Additionally, if you guys do want to take your organic dropshipping business to the next level and actually implement stuff like this with your store and with your product, in the description below, you can actually book a call with me personally, where we're literally just going to talk and dissect your situation. Also, it doesn't even matter if you're a beginner, advanced, or intermediate. I can literally help you in every single scenario, because I built out a whole entire system within the mentorship where we can help anybody out, and you no longer have to worry about these low-hanging problems of product research because your product died out after 2 to 3 weeks. So if you guys are interested, book a call down below. And with that being said, guys, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.